There we go. Cool. Okay, so thank you for joining our Kidney Whales, the Difference You Make session. Well, you both know me. I'm Danielle, and I look after the income generation and events at Kidney Whales. As I mentioned, this session is being recorded, so if you're not comfortable being visible on the screen, please feel free to turn your camera off. We'll be sharing the session on our YouTube channel in case you want to catch up or share it with anyone that might have missed it this evening. So, the purpose of these annual sessions is to keep you informed of the real difference your support makes to patients, carers, families living with kidney disease in Wales. You might not be aware, but Kidney Wales doesn't receive any government funding. Everything we do is thanks to your generosity, whether that's donations, fundraising, volunteering, or simply sharing our message. So when we talk about the support we've provided and what we've got planned, we can only do this with your support. We really couldn't do it without you, so thank you. So tonight is also obviously a good opportunity for you to ask questions as well. If you've got any questions for us, whether that's about our work or how we raise money to support the kidney community in Wales. So you'll hear from the Kidney Wales team, each covering updates from the last financial year and what is in the pipeline as well for this year. So Ross, our CEO, will start with a brief overview and a bit about our patient support services over the last year. Helen, our patient information support manager, will share more about the impact of our patient support services and our plans for this coming year. Georgia, our volunteering and community engagement officer, will talk about our amazing volunteers and education initiatives. And Sam, our finance and operations manager, will give insight into the financial and well-being support we've delivered over the last year. We'll wrap up then with some new ways on how you can get involved. So just a few housekeeping bits to start with. We'd love for the session to be as interactive as possible. So if you've got questions or comments, please raise your hand or pop a question in the chat. We will check to see if there's any questions after each speaker. But feel free to pop your questions in during the session. And if you could make sure your microphone is on mute during the talks, just to avoid any background noise, that would be amazing. So we've got lots to share, so we'll start, and I'm going to pass you over to Ross, our CEO, to start the presentation.
Cheers, Dan. Thank you very much. And thank you to those of you that have joined us this evening to sit through the presentation and hear that review of what we've achieved over the last 12 months. And exactly as Dan said, the difference that you've made to us as an organization. And also thank you to anyone that's taken the time to watch the recording when we do post it up on YouTube. So we changed sort of the start of the presentation a little bit to how we've done it over the last couple of years. For those of you who've attended, we've really at the start nailed in and dived into our patient support. But I thought what I'd like to do is talk about some of the key achievements that we've obtained over the last 12-month period, the last 12 months financial period. And really, when I talk about these as achievements, of course, I'm talking about them as achievements of Kidney Wales and the team that are all on the call, but it's much wider than that. These achievements are connected and ticked off by everybody that's supported Kidney Wales. So whether you're a fundraiser, you're a volunteer ambassador, or you support us in various other ways, our trustees and previous trustees as well, so some who are on the call as well, have all had an impact on what we've achieved over the last year. So Dan, I think we've got my slide up already. Fantastic. So I'm just going to pick out a few of those key achievements, as I said. The first one being, and I'm not picking them out in any particular order as they're being shown on the slide right now, but the first one I'm going to touch on is that we became the lead charity partner with the Cardiff Devils, not Cardiff Devils, as I've put the typo in there. But that was a big step forward for us. And not only did that allow us to support the kidney community directly, it gave us a platform to raise awareness about kidney health, raise awareness about the importance of kidneys as well. And I'm not going to dive into that in too much detail because I think Dan's got a slide on that later in the presentation. Moving around then, 2 years ago, we launched our first ever NHS equipment fund, and that was a pot of £20,000 that was pulled together that renal units could apply for. And that came about from feedback we heard off colleagues that we're working with, renal social workers, clinicians, healthcare professionals in general, dialysis nurses, and they were feeding back to us the financial pressures that they were under. As I'm sure you've probably all heard and aware, it's in the media almost on a weekly basis. The NHS in Wales is particularly stretched right now financially. And what that prevented was pieces of equipment being purchased that teams felt there was a need to have, but they just didn't have the budget available for it. Now, last financial year, because it went so well on the first year, we upped that value from £20,000 to £30,000. And as I say, that allowed the renal units, staff, colleagues in the NHS to apply for that funding. And within a matter of weeks, that £30,000 was not given out, but allocated. What that meant was that teams were able to purchase, in some cases, very basic items, stethoscopes, blood pressure monitors, but at the same time also purchase very large pieces of and expensive pieces of scanning equipment, as well as mobile pieces of scanning equipment as well. So the whole ethos of that was around supporting our NHS colleagues to deliver better services to those in the kidney community, in some cases preventing patients having to travel all the way into unit for care and support, making it more accessible in the community itself. So that's something we're really proud of over the last 2 years, particularly last year as well. Increasing that to £30,000 for us is something we are pleased to have achieved. Moving on then, you'll see on the slide that I've put there that we partnered with Kidney Care UK, another third sector organisation supporting kidney patients across all of the UK. And we partnered with them to introduce what is a brand new role in Wales, and that is the role of Policy Officer for Wales. So probably 2 years ago now, we identified that there was a gap in policy provision. The larger kidney charities had policy roles and were based specifically in other parts of the UK, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and there was no specific role in Wales of this type whatsoever. And it was a big gap. A policy officer role can help you with engaging with Senedd members. It can help you with taking that patient voice and feedback and responding to consultations. So this gap was existing. And unfortunately, as an organisation, we didn't have the necessary financial envelope to recruit and bring in that role solely as ourselves. So through conversations with other charities and ultimately Kidney Care UK, we came together to collaborate, and literally Annie Anderson is starting that role right at the tail end of the last financial year, and we're already seeing the positive effects that role is bringing. In the time that Annie's been in post, we've responded to 4 consultations already, which we probably would have maybe been able to respond to 1 or 2 without that post being filled. And as you're all probably aware, that there was a recent Welsh election, and subsequently following that, Annie has reached out to all 96 of the new Senedd members. So in the new financial year, we'll be working towards meeting those new Senedd members. And in fact, on Monday of next week, I'm meeting a number of them and having some initial conversations with them to raise the profile of both organisations, but also raise the profile and importance of kidney health, kidney care, and early detection is a big priority as well. Similarly, we've also partnered with Kidney Care UK on growing and driving forward their Bloody Amazing Kidney campaign. If you haven't seen it, it's a campaign that they launched back in October 2024. And really the ethos of the campaign was to be a public-facing campaign, reaching the general public and ultimately reaching individuals who are most at risk of chronic kidney disease. And it would do that through highlighting facts and figures, identifying things like you can lose 90% of your kidney function without being aware of it, just pushing it out into the public domain a little bit more. And that partnership started, again, at the tail end of the last financial year, mainly being driven by Georgia and our volunteer ambassadors when they're out attending events, sharing information about the campaign, talking to individuals about it, encouraging them to scan with their phones a QR code and go through to the kidney health checker that's on the Kidney Care UK website. And just as an early indicative of how well that campaign's been received, 330,000 people have conducted the health checker already. And again, not to sit here and talk too much about the new financial year, because you'll be seeing this, but it would be remiss of me not to mention it right now that in June 2026, across 12 train stations within Wales, the Bloody Amazing Kidney campaign is being displayed on the digital boards in a variety of stations. It's bilingual as well. So if you are out and about throughout the month of June 2026 and you come across any of the ads that are being displayed, please do take some pictures and send them across to us, and we'll try to display them up on our social media channels as well. And that's only going to grow as we move forward as well into the new financial year. Moving around a little bit more, Kidney Wales has a long history of funding research right back to our inception as an organisation, and it's been a sort of staple of the charity throughout the last sort of 50 plus years, really. And that was the same last financial year. We committed £30,000 worth of funding to research in the last financial year. That covered two particular types of pieces of research, sorry. One of them was in partnership with Kidney Research UK. Again, a long-standing collaboration that's been established for the last 4 years. And another piece of work that's just about to start actually has been funding Professor Shivani Sharma, who's going to specifically look into the impact on the financial impact that kidney disease is having on patients, and I try to identify some tools and resources to support individuals with that when they're going through that journey as well. So that's a piece of work that's ongoing at the moment. Moving around, then we're a small team. We are a team of everybody that's in the organisation, bar James, who's our administrative support, is on this call right now. So we're a small team. We're covering the whole of Wales. We've had some gaps in staff and areas over the last financial year, particularly in our patient information support manager role. And Helen, who I'll pass on to in a second or two, is now in post and will be picking up a lot of that work. But over the last 12 months, despite those gaps, we were still able to support the kidney community of Wales. And as you'll see in the top right-hand corner, 340 patients and family members were supported by Kidney Wales over the last 12 months. And that's through various forms of support, our financial assistance grants, which again, Sam will dive into in a little bit more detail in a few minutes, but also just taking calls, offering information advice, signposting individuals into the right areas of support as well. And that's only going to grow and continue now that we've got Helen in post in this new financial year. We also delivered our first ever Christmas campaign called the Bring the Magic campaign, which had a focus on fundraising, particularly for our children's Christmas party. And I think reflecting on that and the children's Christmas party, it's a real good sort of eye-opener into how we have to operate as a charity, as a third sector. That was our second children's Christmas party in the last few years. And I remember I've been with Kidney Wales now for 5 years as of last month, and it was something the team used to deliver and we'd wanted to re-establish again, but we just had other priorities at the time that needed to be at the forefront of our work. And then obviously in 2024, being able to reintroduce the children's Christmas party was great. And we ran it last year supported by the Bring the Magic campaign. Around 100 children and their family members were able to attend and have an absolutely fantastic time, getting to meet Santa, having free gifts given out, and I'm sure we'll look to do it again. But it's important for us as an organisation to not be risk averse, and that's why we launched our first ever Christmas campaign as well, and it went really well. A couple of final points for me before I pass over to Helen then is we also sit on the Kidney Charities Together group. That's a group made up of multiple kidney charities across the UK. And we sit on the Kidney Charities Together group and play a key integral part in the World Kidney Day UK campaign. World Kidney Day is in March every year, and there's a specific campaign designed focused at a UK audience, and that's what that group pulls together and pushes forward. So we've played an active role in that as well over the last year. And I think, Dan, that is it from me.
Can we go? Oh, there we go. Over to you, Helen.
Hi everyone. I'm delighted to say I joined Kidney Wales in March this year as the patient information support manager, and I thought already I'd put up some positive feedback that we're having from some of the work that we've been doing in support work and sort of supporting the kidney community. No two queries, no 2 days are the same, which is absolutely great because it shows that we will support people with chronic kidney disease of all ages and all stages. So that, as you can imagine, you're living your life going through chronic kidney disease will come with sort of an array of different challenges at different stages of your life. So some of the things that we've done as Ross has mentioned, we provide a lot of support, financial support, but also ways to access not only our financial assistance grants, but other areas that they need, perhaps assistance for traveling, trying to get things done in their homes so that they can have home dialysis, liaising with the renal support units and the renal social workers to make sure our patients are accessing everything they are entitled to. We That's mostly, like, in terms of, sometimes I've had people come to me at the early stages of diagnosis. They've had no information. So they may have just received a letter from their GP to say, right, you're at stage 3. And it's very often, what does this mean? So that's a whole other raft of sort of support, finding out where they're at, whether I'm providing help around diet and nutrition, making some lifestyle changes, again, changes perhaps to employment, and helping everyone understand. So my first couple of months have been delving into what's out there, what's back out there in Wales, as well as visiting almost, how many? I've done about 8 renal units so far. The rest is to be done this year. And to gain that information so that our patients feel so supported, exactly what the quote says. Thank you so much for the information. I feel so much more relaxed knowing I can support Kidney Wales for support. And that is at all age. So I go to the Children's Kidney Centre once a month, but very often the information I've provided and the follow-up work I've done is for the carers, for the parents, for siblings that have perhaps other things that they need help and support with. So it's the main thing as well, I find, is having the reassurance about people when they're having a diagnosis. And again, it's telling everybody, we're not just here for the one call. You can come back to us throughout if you've got any other queries to think about. And that was something that I did with a mum the other day when I was in the kidney unit, and she said, oh, I know everything and I know what to do, and we're under the children's kidney unit. And I said, right, what happens when they leave that unit? What will happen as they get older and they transition? And she said, yeah, I'm going to need your support then. And that's absolutely fine. We're there when people need us. To summarize on that element is just to say that basically we help people manage their condition, not let it manage them, and live as best they can on a day-to-day basis. So some of the things I've done so far, I've talked about some of the things we've got coming up. This year, as I said, I've mentioned that one of the key things I was going to do was visit all the renal units. Dan, do you want to put the next slide on for me? To visit all the units. We're always reviewing our information and making sure that that is up to date, and some of our partnership and connecting organisations that we liaise with, that information you've got is true and accurate. As we said, we're continuing to provide a really good person-centred support and approach to all our queries that come in. And we've updated our database system so that we're recording these properly as well, so that we can really get a feel of perhaps what are the sort of the most topical conversations, the most topical queries that we can come in, and that'll help us plan for the future as well. We've got the Children's Christmas Party coming up, which Ross has alluded to, and we will be looking at delivering an online event for our healthcare professionals about the work we can do, support and offer, continuing to visit the Children's Kidney Centre, and there's a couple of other things that'll be in the pipeline in future around finance and debt support as well. So it's going to be a busy year. It's been a busy couple of months, and I look forward to working with you all. No query is a stupid query, and if I don't know, I will find out.
Thanks for that, Helen. So I'm going to just briefly touch on the Cardiff Devils partnership that we had last year. So it's continued to grow really year on year, and we're really proud that in the 25-26 season, we were actually their official charity partner. And one of the biggest positives of this partnership really has been the chance to give something back to our community through respite and shared experiences as well. Across the season, we've been able to offer VIP tickets to 120 members of the kidney community and their families, giving them the chance to enjoy a night out at a game together, which we've had some fantastic feedback from, with families really valuing that opportunity to spend quality family time together and just take a break from everything that comes with, living with kidney disease as well. alongside that, it's really given us a platform to raise awareness as well. At the game, which was closest to World Kidney Day this year, we were able to place Kidney Wales leaflets on all the seats across the arena, helping us share some key facts and reach a much wider audience. We've also sent out a number of e-newsletters through the Devils supporter base, which has helped us raise awareness of kidney disease and the work that we do as well. It's also been really nice actually to get the players involved and the fans. So we were given kind of two player ambassadors, and they've recorded videos for us to help us raise awareness. And they've got involved in a bit of a Q&A and some fact finding and questions, which was a bit of fun as well. So yeah, that's been a great way of raising awareness and really engaging with the Cardiff Devils audience. We were also lucky enough to be involved with their Air the Bear initiatives, where players delivered donated teddies to the Children's Kidney Unit just before Christmas. So that was really lovely, and just a great opportunity for some of the children to meet some of the players, but also just receive a nice little gift at Christmas as well. We've also had the chance to connect with some of the Cardiff Devils corporate partners, which has opened up some really positive conversations and new relationships for us, which we wouldn't have had otherwise. And we recorded, or I should say, Ross recorded a podcast as part of the partnership as well, which again helped us reach new audiences and talk more about kidney disease in an accessible way. So overall, it's been another really strong year with the Cardiff Devils. And we're hopeful we can continue and build on that now into the 26-27 season. So yeah, exciting things to come. Okay, Georgia, over to you.
Lovely, thank you. So, for those who I haven't met before, my name is Georgia and I'm the Volunteering and Community Engagement Officer at Kidney Wales. So, a huge part of my role involves supporting our amazing volunteers and helping to create opportunities for us to engage with communities across Wales, raise awareness of kidney disease, and share information about the support available through Kidney Wales. So currently we have a team of 20 volunteers across Wales. So that includes 2 admin volunteers who provide some background research into places that we can go to deliver these talks and stalls and helping us book them. And then we have 18 volunteer ambassadors who have lived experience, who are trained up then to go into these community groups, organisations, members of the Senedd office, and share their story. So our volunteers are really a large part of our awareness raising, but they do more than just attend the talks. They share personal experience of kidney disease, transplantation, dialysis, and living donors as well. And by sharing their stories, they help put a human face to kidney disease and encourage important conversations and help spread awareness of kidney disease and Kidney Wales. So looking back over the last year, it's been amazing to see how much we've achieved. So in previous years, we were really laying the groundwork for our volunteer role, making sure that they were supported, that they had everything in place, setting up things like tempo time credits for them. And then this year, we've been able to really focus on our reach, and we've reached nearly 1,000 more people than we have in the previous year, and we're already on track this year to go even further than that. We've continued to offer a variety of one-off volunteer opportunities as well. So many of you may have seen or volunteered yourself at our amazing cheer stations at events like the Cardiff 10K and the Cardiff Half Marathon, which we will be bringing back again this year. So please do keep an eye out for those opportunities. And they really do help create a fantastic atmosphere for our runners and, again, really highlight Kidney Wales and kidney disease. So moving on there, we've also continued delivering those awareness talks. And in November 2025, we launched our first school awareness pilot as well. So that means we adapted our talk slightly. We sent it out to other teachers for some feedback. And then we piloted our first talk in Pencoed Primary School in November. And that this has given us the opportunity to start those important conversations with young people about kidney disease, kidney health, organ donation, and the impact it has on their families. And throughout this year now, we've already been to 2 talks, and we've got another 2 schools booked in as well. So as well as this, we've been out and about at community events across Wales, including GP cluster groups and other local health awareness days. And these events are a really great opportunity to meet people face to face, answer questions and share information that generally can make a difference to somebody. We've also had our closed community group that's been open on Facebook, which has continued to grow. And it's become a really supportive place where people can connect with others who understand what they're going through. And we see discussions on there about diet and nutrition, holiday dialysis and home dialysis, and people just sharing their experiences with one another, giving helpful tips here and there. So as everyone's previously mentioned, we have also worked closely with other charities and organisations, and that has looked like the Kidney Care UK health checker, so sharing those when we go into our talks and stalls and helping people identify if they are at high risk, and then if they are, they're receiving a letter that they can take to their GP to get testing. But we've also done things like partnerships with other charities like Site Cymru, where we as a team have had training on how to support someone who's blind. And we've also had the opportunity to have different charities come in and join our ambassadors in drop-in sessions so that we can continue to improve their experiences as well. And then if we could move on to the next slide, please, Dan. Yes, so as you can see, from April 2025 to March 26, we directly engaged with and provided information to 1,498 individuals through our talks and community stalls. And as I said, this is a number that is going to continue to grow, and we can see it growing already this year. But I want to really highlight that this number doesn't include the volunteers attending information webinars and giving lived experience on there. It doesn't include them attending fundraising events, going to check collections, the awards that some of them have received. So whilst that number is fantastic achievement and we're really proud of it, it only represents part of a wider impact being created by our volunteers, the staff and our supporters as well. And then next slide, please. So I spoke a little bit about community engagement and how we've been collaborating with other charities and organisations. But a partnership that really stood out for me this year is the Sea Fit for Wales Stronger at Sea, that was held by the Fishermen's Mission. So as you can see there, we were able to attend 5 of the 6 events held around the Welsh coastline, giving us the opportunity to connect with coastal and fishing communities that might not normally engage with healthcare services. So these events allow us to have some great conversations about kidney health, raise awareness of risk factors, again, encouraging people to fill out that checker and then seek GP advice should they need or if they are at high risk. It's a really great example of how taking that information directly into communities can help us reach people who may not otherwise engage or miss the opportunity of this information. And as you can see, our volunteers have all got smiles on their face, no matter the weather, inside and outside, just making sure that they are speaking to those who need it. And then next slide, please, Dan. So alongside our face-to-face work, we've continued delivering information webinars on topics that matter to people living with kidney disease, their families and carers. So all of our webinars are recorded and added to our YouTube channel so people can watch them back whenever it suits them. Some of our recent webinars have covered topics such as why do people say no to a kidney transplant, the journey of a living donor, home dialysis, holiday dialysis as well. So our next webinar actually takes place on Monday, the 8th of June at 6 p.m. And this one will be focusing on carers and those supporting someone with CKD. And they will also include guest speakers with lived experience as well. So whether you've attended an event before, shared your story, helped at a stall, or supported a fundraiser, everything that you've done to help spread awareness has really made a difference. So we just wanted to say a massive thank you.
Thanks, Georgia. I'm just conscious of time. So, Sam, if we go straight to you and we can do any questions at the end, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So my name's Sam. I'm the Finance and Operations Manager at Kidney Wales. And I'm just going to kind of do a really brief look at our accounts and then also the grants that we offer people and what that looks for us and how much we spent and who we've helped. So last year, our income was £321,000. And this is mainly generated by people taking part in events and doing fundraising. So 78% of our income is actually generated by people doing fundraising and donations and things like that. So it shows that we heavily rely on people like you to support us. So as everyone has said already, so we really do appreciate all the support you guys have given us. And without you doing all this amazing fundraising, we really couldn't do half the work that we do. So thank you, really appreciate it. So how you've supported us is through donations, fundraising, taking part in our lottery. Also do receive some income via grants. So that's through the National Lottery or the Postcode Lottery. And we do also receive a little bit of income through legacies. But unfortunately, that's not the same level as it was years and years ago. So we do obviously really rely on you guys. But one of the things that we are really proud from our last year accounts is how much money per pound that we spent went directly supporting patients within the kidney community. So out of every pound that we spent, 65p went towards supporting someone with chronic kidney disease. And, you know, compared to some of the charities, they might not actually show that kind of high figure. That's a really big figure. It's something that we are really, really proud of and something that we want to keep on producing that kind of level of output. So direct expenditure for us is money that we spend directly supporting people. And last year we spent £323,000 directly supporting patients and their families with chronic kidney disease. And the ways we've spent that is the Children's Christmas Party that we've spoken about, the volunteer project that George has just spoken about, financial assistance grants, the equipment fund that Ross spoke about at the start, our campaign work and our research projects. But one of the things that I do want to emphasise with everyone is that we do receive no government funding. So all of our work that we do is down to the fundraising, the donations and the support that you guys give us. So financial assistance grants last year, I just want to touch on this just to show you how the money that we get and the grants that we send out, how they really do support people living with CKD and also their families. So we have three grants available: financial assistance grants, which helps people replace things if they've broken or if they are in debt, or just generally supporting them financially. We also have food vouchers to help people that are struggling to put food on the table, and also carers vouchers, which just gives a little bit of respite to people that are caring for someone with CKD. And over the year, we spent just shy of £70,000 putting those three projects on, supporting 288 patients and their families. And as you can see by the little graphics, we support them in many different ways. We buy fridge freezers, washing machines, ovens, sofas, beds, all sorts of things. So it's quite a large amount of different items that we support. And if you are actually needing anything, please speak to your healthcare team and see how we can help with that. Next slide, please. So now we're looking at what we're going to do this year. So again, we're looking at having an income of £308,000, which is slightly less than what we had last year. But I just kind of want to say that last year we did have some legacies coming in, which is what we don't budget for. So hopefully we might get some more money than this. This is just like worst case scenario, what we kind of think the minimum we'll get in is. Again, that's based on 55% of that being from events and fundraising. And again, like I mentioned before, that's 62 pence. So what we're looking at spending is 62 pence in every pound towards supporting patients and their families. So direct expenditure is pretty similar to what we spent last year. And the things we're going to fund are policy work, as Ross spoke about, awareness campaigns, financial grants, as per the other slide, the children's Christmas party, which I mention all the time because I think it's one of the most wonderful things we do for the children and their families. And we've also got funding for part of Helen's role, and also bringing in a new patient pack, which is really useful for people that are newly diagnosed, to give them good information about what kidney disease means for them, the support that they can receive, information about our leaflets, and on all sorts of things, which might be really useful for someone who's newly diagnosed and they don't know quite where to go next. Next slide, please, Dan. And from the grant aspect of that, we are looking to spend £64,000 this year on supporting patients and their families with one of our grants. And it looks like we'll be supporting, well, we hope to support a minimum of 220 families. That could well be more, because one of our grants is a maximum of £500. So if someone only applies for £200, it means that we could actually support another family as well. So, that could change. One thing to note, you might have noticed that on the previous year we supported more people with carers vouchers. This year that it's less vouchers available, because that project is actually funded by a third party, and we have only been awarded 6 months of funding for that. So that's why that is a slightly lower number. But yeah, all in all, hopefully a really productive year, supporting families and patients with kidney disease. I think that's my last slide, Dan. There we are.
Thank you,
Thank
Sam.
you.
So now to just wrap up, I want to quickly share some of the ways you can continue supporting Kidney Wales if you're able to. You can follow us on social. We're active every day on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And now we've recently added TikTok to our socials as well. So yeah, keep a check on that. We post lots of updates, campaigns and event news and patient stories on there. Even just a like or a share helps us reach more people. It's a really easy and great way to help us raise awareness of kidney disease and the cause as well. So yeah, if you can help us with that, we would really appreciate it. You can sign up to Easy Fundraising. And Easy Fundraising is basically donate to Kidney Wales whilst you do your shopping online. So there's loads and loads of different brands that's associated with Easy Fundraising. Groceries, holidays, all the main brands and shops are on there. But you can learn more about that in the Get Involved section of our website. You can make a donation to Kidney Wales, one-off or a monthly donation, a reoccurring donation. Every donation makes such a big difference to us, but the monthly gifts help us plan ahead and provide reliable support for the kidney community. And of course, if you're eligible, adding the gift aid means we can claim an extra 25% on your donation as well at no cost to you. Sam mentioned it. We've partnered with Unity Lottery for our charity lottery. It's a fun, affordable way to support Kidney Wales, and you could be in with a chance to win some prizes as well, which is fantastic. You can take part in an event or campaign, whether you're a runner or more into tea and cake. We do have something for everyone. This year, the Cardiff 10K returns in September, and we're celebrating 40 years of the event. So, an incredible achievement. So, we're trying to recruit our biggest team yet. We're looking to recruit 400 runners for this. This event is perfect for experienced runners or first timers as well. We also have places in London Marathon 2027. And we've also recently partnered with Run for Charity, which has given us access to hundreds of charity spaces at events across the UK and further afield as well, including runs, treks, and cycle rides. So feel free to check out the website to see a list of some of those events, and the full list can be found on the Run for Charity website as well. You can also join our 60 for 60 challenge, which is celebrating 60 years of Kidney Wales. In May next year, the charity will be 60 years old, so we're running this challenge in the year leading up to our 60th birthday. Or you can take part in our Tea Party campaign or Walk for Life challenge, this organ donation awareness week in September. They're all fun and flexible ways of getting involved, and you can organise them at a time that's convenient for you. But again, all the details can be found in the Get Involved section of our website. But whatever you decide to do, whatever challenge you decide to take on, please do let us know so that we can get some material sent out to you, and make sure that you have everything that you need. So that was a quick overview of some of the ways that you can get involved, but obviously all the information is on our website, or feel free to drop me an email. It's just danielle@kidneywales.cymru, and I'll be more than happy to help. So just before we finish up, does anyone have any final questions? I know we missed the questions on Georgia and Sam's presentation. Does anyone have any questions at all before we wrap up? No? Great stuff. Well, just again to say a huge thank you to you all, whether you've joined the webinar this evening or you're watching online. We really do appreciate every single donation, every volunteer hour, every fundraising effort so much. We know it's challenging times at the moment, and yeah, we hugely appreciate all the time and dedication that you put into supporting us. And as we've said, as most of us have said, it is thanks to you that we're able to continue delivering our important work for the kidney community here in Wales. So diolch o galon I chi. Thank you for being with us tonight as well. We hope you found the session helpful, and we look forward to staying in touch. And please do reach out if you have any questions at all following the session. So thank you, everyone.